Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel and this week's Gospel reflection for Good Shepherd Sunday, the fourth Sunday of Easter. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Jesus said, "I am the Good Shepherd. A good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. A hired man who is not a shepherd and whose sheep are not his own sees a wolf coming and leaves the sheep and runs away. And the wolf catches and scatters them. This is because he works for pay and has no concern for the sheep. I am the good shepherd, and I know mine, and mine know me, just as the Father knows me, and I know the Father. And I will lay down my life for the sheep. I have other sheep that do not belong to this fold. These also I must lead, and they will hear my voice, and there will be one flock, one shepherd. This is why the Father loves me, because I lay down my life in order to take it up again. No one takes it from me, but I lay it down on my own. I have power to lay it down and power to take it up again. This command I have received from my Father." The Gospel of the Lord. So we've come to Good Shepherd Sunday, where we hear Jesus declare that he is the Good Shepherd who knows his sheep, whose sheep hear his voice and follow him. This imagery, I think, is lost on a lot of us who didn't grow up around sheep, didn't grow up in an agricultural setting. But when I went to Ireland a few years ago, I got to see a lot of sheep. I was in the part of the country where there were more sheep than people. And we actually got stuck in a traffic jam once. We were the only car in the traffic jam. There were 3 sheep in front of us that couldn't decide which way they wanted to go. So we learned a little bit about sheep on that trip. They are not the brightest animals that God ever created. But what the sheep have going for them is they recognize the voice of their shepherd, and they follow him. And so this is the imagery that Jesus was going for in calling himself the Good Shepherd. I think about this a lot these days because there are a lot of competing voices, and there's so much anger. I'm hearing this so much, especially in the confessional, the anger that people have about the way things are going in the world. And some of it we can say is righteous anger, but so much of it is being fed by false shepherds, the ones that Jesus talks about, the hired men who don't really have an interest in us, the sheep, but who are in it for themselves, who are in it to make money. And when the wolf comes, they'll be nowhere to be found. They'll abandon us to the wolves. We can't let their voices hold sway with us and cause us to become angry and unsettled and to lose our sense for the voice of the Good Shepherd. Jesus, the Good Shepherd, will never lead us astray. He will never abandon us to the wolves. But he remains with us to the point of laying down his own life and shedding his own blood for our sake so that we can have life. This is the attitude, the approach that Jesus has towards us. This is how much he loves and cares for us and takes seriously the responsibility his Father has entrusted to him to care for us and carry us through this life into eternity. That he's willing to make himself a good shepherd and lay down his life for us. So we need to be attentive to the voice of the Good Shepherd. How do we do that? By certainly reading the scriptures, by all of the ways in which we can avail ourselves, fill ourselves of good sources, good media, good books that will help us learn about Jesus and enter more deeply into the experience of his love and care for us. And that will guide us through and preserve us from being led astray by these other voices that will lead us into anger and disarray.